So I was told that there are two questions, and you can say the question to me because there is no paper.
So maybe know which are these two questions.
Who is the first?
So,
there were two questions written down. The first one was mine. When it comes to karma, I've heard a lot of you talking a lot about karma on the podcast and things. Is it the karmas that you are cleaning? Is it the karmas of your ancestors or the karmas of your previous lives that count towards this life?
It's an interesting question. Well, I think both. Of course, they are interlinked because, what we are now is the result of, yes, what we have been in the past, our past actions, but it's also an inherited something from our ancestors, yes. From our parents, first of all, grandparents, and like this, at least up to 7 generations. We keep the memory of this genetic heritage in our cells, in our DNA. Of course, but this has got to do with our story. It's not by chance that we are born in a family. It's not by chance that we have certain brothers and sisters. It's all interlinked. So we have a personal karma, we have a family karma, we have a, let's say, a town karma, a region karma, national karma, and a planet karma. And we can go up to the solar system karma and the Milky Way galaxy karma. So it's an intricated something. So with whosoever we have any dealing, actually, we have karma together. Means we have give and take. That's what it means, karma. Actions and reactions caused by our give and take with people. So Like this, you see, let's say this town where this area is, Grosseto. With how many people do I have anything to do with? Very few, really, very few. And with those few people, I have some karma together, some give and take. But with most of the other people, I have nothing to do with. And so all of us in our life, we come to interact with a certain number of people, which is really limited most of the time. In comparison with the all of humanity which is around us. So why do we have anything to do with this and not with that? Because with that one, there is some give and take. We have already met in previous lifetimes, so we come to meet again. So it depends on how intense it is, this give and take. Then the same way in this very lifetime, we have more or less connection with those people. So it's not hazard, it's a well-calculated something. It's, I would say, a mathematics something, well-calculated. The much we have to do with anybody, it's all due to how much we have already had to do with those people. So, of course, our karma is interlinked with the people we come to deal with in this lifetime. And of course, the family thing is the most closed, is the most strong bond that we have. So there is much of a give and take with people of the family. So what we have to do is try to make these relations that we have as good as possible, as beautiful as possible, as happy as possible, as positive as possible, so as to improve these our connections, which are there for long, and we have to keep improving them, so as to come to a point in which there is no negativity whatsoever. It's very difficult, but we have to try our best to make it as good as possible. That's growing into a loving human being, a karma-free person. Of course, achieving, let's say, moksha or liberation is a personal affair. We might be in a family which cooperates and is also interested in the same topic, in the same lifestyle, but we may be in a family who are not ready for this. They might not be interested in this. So what we can do is bring a good example. It's not so much our words that count, but it is the way we live. We may pretend anything to be spiritual, to be holy, but it's our actions, how we behave with the people with whom we interact daily, mostly. Our family members, our neighbors, is that determines how good or bad we are. And what I always say is that it's not so much our philosophy, our religion, if we have one, our spiritual path that makes us good people. Theories, doctrines, and whatever you want, philosophies. It's how we live, how we behave that make us either good or bad people. So pretending doesn't make anybody good. It's our actions that show that we are good people. So it doesn't matter how the world goes. It doesn't matter what happens around us. Nobody can impede us to be good people. There might be wars everywhere, hate everywhere, but at least in our private life, we must be able to live the way we want, the way we would like. So it doesn't matter how much hate is in the world, how much hate is around us, how much stupidity and ignorance is around us. But if you're following a path that wants to lead to truth, love, compassion, then we have to live such a life. Then we have to make our best to be such people. He said, a smile doesn't cost anything, but makes everybody happy. An act of kindness, it doesn't cost much, but we can all do it. Caring for people, especially, as they say, the family, because charity begins in our own home. Most of the time, we are very good with others, or we pretend to be very good with others. That's hypocrisy. But at home, we are terrible. Outside, we show the good side of ours. At home, the worst side. So that's where we have to work. Now, karma doctrine can be very complex. What is karma destiny of his life? What is in India they call it pralabdha karma. We come with a destiny, which is, let's say, chosen by us, or it is proposed to us and we accept it. Because from up there, it seems very clear, very obvious that this course of events which are planned for our next life, they are the best way for our growth. We see very clearly that it's like from high above, you look at the area which is down below. You see very clearly everything. When you're down there, you don't see anything, or very few. But from up there, you see everything very clear. All the paths, all the roads, all the cars, all the houses, people, and everything. So that's how it is. When we are up there, before we are born, we are proposed a certain life destiny for the next life, and we see it very clearly that that's the good thing. That's what we have to do. It doesn't matter how much joy and sorrow is there, how much suffering may involve, but we see that that's what makes us grow. And that's the purpose for which we come in this life, to grow and become better human beings. So we accept it. And we come in this life, and from down here is very often not as simple as from up there. Down here is very complicated. Sometimes we go through incredible sufferings, incredible problems, which seem to have no end. But that's where we learn. That's where we improve. Most of the time, people do not grow and improve in easy situations. They improve in difficult situations. We improve in difficult situations. That's where we grow. We learn mostly at the school of suffering than at the school of joy. That's how it is. And that's how this life down here is made. It's made in such a way that we go through troubles so that we learn the lessons. And you never take whatever you go through life as a malediction, as an unlucky factor. I'm unlucky, I'm the poor one. Why all these troubles to me? That's not a good way of facing things. That's not the wise way. The wise way is to say, what does life want to teach me through what's happening? What is the lesson here? What do I have to learn? And not just give the fault to others. I'm the poor one, the victim of all these other people who are bad and I am good. It's not like this. That's not the wise way of behaving in life. We have to be aware of our responsibilities. We have to be aware of what's the right way of behaving in any situation. And we have to try to find it out, to understand. There is a difficult situation. How do I make it better? What should I do? Cooperation, love, understanding, doing our best. That's what works. Sacrifice. So that's the right attitude. Then, according to our potential, we might be able to do certain things and not certain others, some others. We all come with a certain potential in this life. And according to our potential, we may accomplish few or much. But this potential, that's what we have to increase, to empower while we live this body. So that when we end this life, we'll be better people than what we were when we came into this life. Maulana Rumi in a song says, make my last better than this life. So in every lifetime that we have, we should improve as much as we can. That's the purpose of coming here. And once we will be the ideal people, free from all limitations and negative sides, then we will be born always in better and better situations, maybe even in better planets than this planet, where there is a life which is so much more advanced than here. Because we go there where we belong, where there is this affinity. That's the law that takes us anywhere, that moves us anywhere in life. The law of affinity. We end up with those situations, with those people with whom we have affinity. So we are here to achieve liberation. Once we are liberated, then we will be sent only to those situations in which we can be of help for other people to grow. Because that's how life evolves. A good person brings his goodness around himself, herself. helps others to improve. So anybody who becomes a better human being, it's used by the Supreme Being to be of help to others. That's how it works. So we should try, once we are on a path, once we have understood the dynamics of life, how it works, and what we should do, and what's the purpose of this life, then we should do our best to use the tools we have the best way we can, so as to accomplish the best progress that we can in this life. Goodwill. That's what's needed. Goodwill, positivity, optimism. We can do it. We can succeed. We can win. Do not weep on yourself. Me miserable. You make yourself miserable if you believe you are miserable. We are not miserable. We are divine in nature. So that's what's needed. Goodwill, optimism, positivity. Be joyful. Smile as much as you can. Sing a song. So I hope I answered your question somehow. The next one, which was?
Egy szatszangi milyen attitűddel rájön a halál idejére, és hogyan készüljön tudatosan?
So, what attitude should a Satsangi have regarding the time of his or her death, and how to prepare for it in a conscious way?
Well, a Satsangi, first of all, should understand that any meditation sitting that we have, it's a process for learning how to die. So what should a Satsangi do? Should do as much meditation as possible so that you really learn how to die. Translate.
Először is minden egyes meditáció az olyan, mint hogyha végigmennénk ezen a folyamaton, így hát egy Satsangi annyit kellene, hogy meditáljon, amennyit csak tud, azért, hogy erre felkészüljön.
So that's how we prepare. The best way we prepare for that is by doing meditation and try to experience this process of dying while living, while we are in this body.
Ez a legjobb módja annak, hogy felkészüljünk a halál órájára, hogy annyit meditálunk, amennyit csak lehet, mert ez a folyamat az, amikor meg tudjuk tapasztalni a halált, amíg életben vagyunk.
Learn to die so that you may begin to live.
Tapasztaljátok meg a halált, hogy élni kezdjetek.
So the more we learn this process and the more we experience it, the better beings we will be, the most happy, the most fulfilled we will be.
És minél inkább elsajátítjuk ezt a folyamatot, minél inkább gyakoroljuk, annál teljesebb, annál kiteljesedettebb és boldogabb lényekké válunk.
Because meditation is really, an effective meditation, it's what really transforms us from common human beings, ordinary human beings, into special human beings.
Mert a hatékony meditáció az, ami valójában átformál bennünket az átlagos emberi lényekből a emberfeletti isteni lényekké.
That's why retreats are the training ground where we really train ourselves as spiritual people, as meditators, in order to improve our meditation, our spiritual practice, and try to get something out of it.
Az elvonulások azok, ahol ezt a leginkább gyakorolhatjuk, ahol ebben a leginkább elmerülhetünk, és megtapasztalhatjuk, hogy valami valóban történik.
Because let's be frank, let's be real. In our daily life, it's not so easy to meditate when we are by ourselves. Unless you really are determined and you are really, a strong person, determined to do your spiritual practice and a blessed person, it's difficult to see it. First of all, it's difficult to get our duties.
Szólva, a hétköznapi életünkben, amikor egyedül vagyunk, akkor nem olyan könnyű meditálni, kivéve, hogyha valaki nagyon-nagyon elszánt és nagyon erős akarata van, és nagyon sok áldást kap, és sikerül neki, hogy végezze meditációját. De a legtöbb ember számára még az is nehézséget okoz, hogy az időt kivágja a napi rutinból a meditáció számára.
We need to be disciplined, especially when we are by ourselves. We have to be very disciplined.
Nagyon fegyelmezetnek kell lennünk, különösen akkor, amikor önmagunkban meditálunk. Nagyon-nagyon fegyelmezetnek kell lennünk.
Make a schedule for yourself and stick to it. I get up at this time, I do this much meditation, and every day do it.
Készíts egy időrendet magadnak, határozd el, hogy azt be fogod tartani, döntsd el, hogy hány órakor fogsz felkelni, mennyit fogsz meditálni, és tartsd ahhoz magadat, ragaszkodj hozzá.
The natural flow, and then very difficult to go back to it.
És figyelmeztetlek benneteket, hogy ha kihagytok egy vagy akár 2 napot, akkor megtörik a szokás, és nagyon-nagyon nehéz. Megtörik ez a folyamat, nagyon nehéz visszamenni hozzá.
One day you find an excuse, no, today too many things to be done, so it's okay, tomorrow we'll do it. Tomorrow we'll do better. Tomorrow will be the same.
Ha egy nap azt mondjátok, hogy ma nem tudok meditálni, mert túl sok dolgom van, most így nem lehet, majd holnap meditálok, akkor ez nem így lesz, holnap ugyanez lesz a helyzet.
So Master Kirpal used to say, when you miss one day meditation, you go back in your development 7 days.
Kirpal mester azt mondta régen, hogy ha az ember kihagy egy nap meditációt, akkor visszamegy a fejlődésben 7 napot.
A spiritual person must feel the need to sit peacefully and try to find at least peace, manifest some of the light to make your life beautiful.
Egy spirituális embernek rendelkeznie kellene azzal a belső szükséglettel, hogy naponta legalább leüljön és a békét megtalálja önmagában.
If you don't feel this need, then you are not a spiritual person, that's all.
Hogyha nem érzed ezt a belső késztetést, ezt a belső szükséget, akkor nem vagy spirituális ember, ennyi.
You are not a spiritual inclined person.
Akkor nem vagy spirituálisan elköteleződött ember.
A spiritually inclined person, if he doesn't meditate, feels desperate.
Egy spirituálisan elköteleződött ember, ha nem meditálhat, akkor elkeseredetten érzi magát, rosszul érzi magát.
You know, if you read these songs of the masters, they all talk about this vishora or pain of separation.
Ha elolvassátok a mestereknek az énekeit, akkor mindannyian az elválasztottság fájdalmáról, a vicsoráról beszélnek.
Because when you don't have this connection, if you are a spiritual person, you feel desperate. You feel like that.
Mert hogyha nem rendelkezel ezzel a kapcsolattal, ezzel a spirituális kapcsolattal, akkor leválasztva érzed magad elkeseredetten.
It's like an addicted person that doesn't have his own dose. Feels terrible.
Mint egy függő, aki nem kapja meg a dózisát, és nagyon rosszul érzi magát.
So a real spiritual person, if he doesn't have that few hours meditation per day in which he really comes as close as possible to the light and to a very blissful state in which the atmosphere vibrates in a different way you feel yourself blessed, intoxicated, you don't feel good. You feel terrible.
Tehát egy spirituális ember, hogyha nem tudja azt a napi néhány órát a meditációban eltölteni, amikor a lehető legközelebb kerülhet az isteniséghez, ahhoz az áldott állapothoz, amiben ezt a szépséget megtapasztalhatja, akkor egy ilyen ember, ha ezt nem tudja megtenni, akkor nagyon-nagyon rosszul érzi magát.
But you know, sometimes we make agreements with ourselves. No? We say, well, at this time, this is not the best time for doing a lot of meditation. It will come later on. Maybe when I be older, then I will have a life situation in which I'll be able. There are all these possible tricks from the mind, you know.
Néha alkotgatunk saját magunkkal, mondván, hogy ez nem a legalkalmasabb idő, hogy sokat meditáljak, majd később fogok sokat meditálni, amikor idősebb leszek, de ez az elmének csak egy játéka.
But then once you have the easy situation, the best situation, you don't do anything at all.
De amikor a helyzet nagyon egyszerű lenne, és megtehetnéd, akkor nem teszel semmit.
You just relax and go by with your life.
Csak lazítasz, és haladsz a folyamatokkal, haladsz az élettel.
You become happy with a good meal, a good ice cream, a good cappuccino. What? That's enough, eh?
Az ember mondjuk örül egy jó ételnek, egy fagylatnak, egy jó cappuccinónak.
Going to the restaurant with friends. Oh, so good.
Étteremben a barátaival, de jó.
That's enough. But we are not spiritual people anymore.
Ugye ez elég lehet, de akkor már nem vagyunk többé spirituális emberek.
So, how should the Satsangi relate to this phenomenon, to this fact of dying, to death?
Egy Satsanginak hogyan kellene a halál tényéhez viszonyulnia?
Should always keep in the forefront of his mind that I'm going to die and I want to learn how to die before I die.
Mindig a figyelmének az előterében kellene lennie, hogy meg fog halni, és fel kell erre készülnie, hogy meghalljon, mielőtt meghalna.
So that I won't be afraid of dying.
Így nem fogok attól félni, hogy meghalljak.
Because everybody is terribly scared of dying because they don't know what that is.
Mert mindenki nagyon fél a haláltól, mert nem tudják, hogy mi az.
But if you experience this phenomenon of dying while alive, then you see that it's nothing to be afraid of. That's pure bliss. That's pure love, pure ecstasy.
De hogyha te ezt megtapasztalod, mielőtt meghalnál, akkor rájössz, hogy ez semmi félnivaló nincsen. Ez tiszta öröm, tiszta extázis.
Moreover, through all this experience which you gather in your meditation, you become more and more detached from everything and everybody.
És mindezeken túl a meditáció által egyre inkább leválasztódunk mindenkitől és mindenről.
You'll be able to use things and not be used by things.
Hozzászoksz ahhoz, hogy használd a dolgokat, és ne a dolgok használjanak téged.
And if you let the whole world of this world, you take it.
If you get?
The whole gold of this world, power, wealth.
És még akkor is, hogyha megkapod a világ minden aranyát,
If you lose it, you don't care at all.
és aztán elveszted, azzal sem fogsz törni.
In easy situation, you won't be super elated, super, enthusiastic.
Ja, könnyű helyzetekben az ember nem lesz rendkívül lelkes,
And in difficult situation, you won't be broken, you won't be depressed. You will just take it.
de ugyanígy a nehéz helyzetekben pedig az ember nem fog összetörni, összeomlani, hanem elviseli azt.
What comes, well and good. What goes, well and good.
Ami jön, jó, ami megy, az is jó.
You see, we talk so much about, in this world, we talk so much about fake gurus and people, gurus taking advantage of people. They build up all possible kind of arguments about this topic, you know. Gurus taking advantage of people.
Ja, manapság annyit beszélnek a hamis gurukról, a hamis tanítókról, hogy kihasználják az embereket.
There is very little talking about how much troubles people give to gurus.
De nagyon keveset beszélnek arról, hogy mennyi problémát okoznak az emberek a guruknak, a tanítóknak.
How much disappointments, how much pains and troubles.
Mennyi csalódás, mennyi fájdalom.
How much they are used by the people without any gratitude, without any love.
Mennyire kihasználják a tanítókat az emberek mindenféle hála és szeretet nélkül. Valódi hála és valódi szeretet nélkül.
So we should begin talking about this also.
Úgyhogy erről is beszélhetnénk.
So anyway, that is a blessing.
De a halál egy áldás.
Is the best good luck that may happen into the life of a person.
Ez a lehető legjobb szerencsé, ami megtörténhet egy ember életében.
Is the time of reunion.
Ez az újraegyesülés ideje.
It's wedding with the infinite.
Házasság a végtelennel.
Is going back into a love which is as thick as cream, as pudding.
Visszatérni egy szeretett állapotba, ami olyan, mint egy krémszerű állapot, ami áthal el.
And for people who are on a spiritual path, that will be the supreme bliss.
És a spirituális személy számára a halál lesz a legfőbb öröm.
So don't be afraid of dying. That is a blessing.
Úgyhogy ne féljetek meghalni. A halál egy áldás.
And when somebody dies, do not be sad. Just be happy. He has gone back to his beloved.
Amikor valaki meghal, ne legyetek szomorúak, örüljetek, mert visszatér a szeretettjéhez.
When somebody dies, we have to rejoice.
Amikor valaki meghal, akkor örvendenünk kell.
As I said a few days ago, when there is this saying, when you were born, you laughed because, you know, baby born, everybody's happy.
Ahogy néhány napja mondtam ezt a történetet, hogy mikor megszületünk, akkor sírunk, és mindenki nevet. Mert az emberek boldogok, amikor egy kisbaba megszületik.
So live such a life by which, when you die, you will be laughing and everybody will be crying.
Úgyhogy olyan életet éltek, hogy amikor meghaltok, akkor mindenki sírjon, ti pedig nevessetek.
Once I was in a state of deep intoxication. So I was walking by a river and I said, my God, I said, give me a sign, tell me something. So I was told, look down. So I looked down and there was kind of a brick tile. I picked it up and there was written, just this. When you were born, you were crying and everybody was happy. Live such a life that when you die, you will be laughing and everybody will be crying.
Ja, egyszer megesett velem, hogy egy nagyon feltöltött, mámoros állapotban voltam, emelkedett állapotban voltam, és egy folyóparton sétáltam, és imádkoztam az én Istenemhez, hogy kérlek, adj egy jelet nekem. És azt az üzenetet kaptam, azt a választ kaptam magamban, hogy nézd le. És lenéztem, és a folyóparton egy ilyen téglaszerű, egy csempeszerű valami volt előttem. És felvettem, és ez volt ráírva, hogy amikor megszülettél, akkor sírtál, és mindenki nevet. Olyan életet élj, hogy mindenki sírjon, te pedig neves.
So I hope that what I said was a good answer for your question.
Remélem, hogy amit mondtam, megfelelő válasz volt a kérdésedre.
So again, what he said in Satsang, it's precious and it's for to improve our understanding about life and things.
Ja, újra elmondom, hogy ami a Satsangon elhangzik, az nagyon értékes, és arra hivatott, hogy valamit hozzájön az életünkhöz. Valamire.
So it's a teaching that we should take to our heart and try to apply to our life.
Ez egy olyan tanítás, amit a szívünkre kellene vennünk, és tartani magunkat hozzá, alkalmazni az életünkben.
Food, if it's eaten, gives us nourishment. If we just leave it there, it won't nourish us.
Az étel, hogyha elfogyasztod, táplálja a testedet. De ha ott hagyod, akkor nem táplál semmit.
So the teachings are the same thing. It's nourishment for your mind, for your life.
Ugyanez a helyzet a tanításokkal. Ez táplálék a szellem és a lélek számára.
Use them.
Úgyhogy használjátok.
Thank you for listening. May God bless all of us.